Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Turkey Day if you celebrate Thanksgiving. So I wanted to record this before I watched season 4, episode 5 of Titans, because I didn't do an in-depth review for episode 4. I just wasn't feeling motivated to for several reasons. The main one being I just was not very impressed with the episode. So in lieu of all that, I did want to give my general thoughts and overview of the episode. I think with episode 4, Titans, they're not good with splicing up an episode where you have to have flashbacks and then have scenes in present day and so forth and so forth. Like, they're never good at that. Every time I watch an episode where it's a flashback intertwined with things that are happening in present day, I feel disoriented. I feel like I'm losing chunks of information, and it happens every time. And I think that's because the flashback scenes are typically so well done, or there's so much happening that it should be its own episode. And 9 times out of 10, what's happening in the flashback has nothing to do with what's happening in real time with the Titans. And I felt like that with episode 4. Most of what was happening with Mother Mayhem and Trigon, like, that really didn't connect to what the Titans were doing in present day. The only 2 things that connected was the asylum and, Sebastian's mother being Mother Mayhem. That's pretty much it. All of that other stuff was just separate. And I feel like the flashback could have been its own episode, or they could have figured out a better way to splice that together for better storytelling. Connor is still being foolish, so we'll see how that plays out. Jinx was such a nuisance in that episode. My goodness. Like, you kind of you're around, and then when you speak, it's like nothing that will actually help a situation. It's nothing of substance. So it's just like, my God, Jinx. Let me think. Raven, she didn't really have a lot of like standout moments outside of, her chainsaw scene in the zombie fight. So maybe she'll have a little more in this episode. Gar, I was already disappointed that this episode was not Gar-centric, and I was disappointed with how they utilized him within the episode. So I'm hoping for better things. Let's see. Sebastian is the standout, like I said. This is the first villain in the entirety of the show that I actually feel sympathy for. And deep down, I'm kind of rooting for him to fight against that urge to be evil. I know that's not going to happen, but this is the first villain that's made me feel like that ever in the history of Titans. So kudos to the actor, kudos to the writers, because they're doing the thing with Sebastian. Let me see. I feel like that's it. That's really all I have to say as far as overall thoughts. Dick was kind of acting out of character, not really believing, these coincidences that were happening, what Corey was talking about in her visions. And I'm like, sir, you've been at this a little too long to not really believe what's happening, what you're reading, They're still building up Corey, so I'm happy to see that. You already know how I feel about, her powers and the zombie fight scene. So yeah, that's pretty much it. My rating for the episode stands at a 5 out of 10. And that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys when I do my initial reaction of episode 5. Bye. So I just finished watching Titans season 4, episode 5. And when I tell you this episode was good, easily my second favorite episode of the season so far. Easily. Like, for a penultimate to the first half of the season, this was everything I wanted it to be and more. Every part of this episode was great, honestly. The story flowed seamlessly. You didn't feel like you were having whiplash when they cut from one scene to another, like last week's episode. Like, as soon as the episode started and we got that beautiful shot of the blood moon, and like those colors, and then we pan to Gar, I already knew. I was like, this is going to be better than episode 4. With Titans, you can tell from the first scene, the first frame, if this is going to be a banger. And this was a banger, in my opinion. Like, everything about it was great. Gar, this was the Gar-centric that I was looking for last week. So I'm glad we got it this week because he did his thing. And let me tell you something. Connor, okay, he was less than smart with his decisions this episode. But the actor, Joshua Orpin, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, he acted his ass off in this episode. He was amazing, like absolutely amazing. It was such a joy to watch Connor in this frantic state, and then also with Mother Mayhem and that gross snake inside of him. It was great. It was so incredible to watch. Everything was, So Dick was a great team leader this episode. There were a lot of tough decisions to be made. There was a lot going on, and he handled it beautifully. You know, when Gar had to make a very important decision, he made sure, like, are you okay? Like, are you really okay to do this? Like, stuff like that is what I've been looking for, and we got it tenfold in this episode. We had an extended Dick Corey vision, right? Featuring the rest of the Titans. So life made, just day made. It was, I love it. I love it. So let's see. Corey was great in this episode. We had her back at the Elko diner. And it was pretty nice. Let's see. Raven was cool. I liked her and Sebastian and their moments. I kind of had a feeling that this was not going to end well for her, and it didn't, because Sebastian finally stepped over into the dark side. And I knew from the minute he said, "My whole life I felt like nothing," I said, that right there, that's going to coax him onto, becoming Brother Blood and loving the Church of Blood and all of that, because all of these people worship him, and he's never felt like that in his life. And that's kind of what we were getting at the end of the episode. It was incredible. Sebastian was incredible. Mother Mayhem, Gina, those scenes were great. The lighting was just top tier this episode. Way better than last episode. Oh my God, just way better. Gar, I forgot to mention, had a little transformation. Yeah, they kind of worked their way around it, but I thought it was great. I really loved the transformation that he had, even though we didn't really get to see it. Story-wise, it was incredible. I can't sing the praises of this episode enough. Of course, I have my little complaints, and we will get there when I do my in-depth review, because I will be doing one for this episode. Tim. So Tim was funny. Tim was also a little less than smart at the beginning. But Tim was funny. He was good in this episode. He had his little heroic moment finally. And then him and Bernard kiss. And I'm like, we still don't know this man's age. So, but, they did have some little moments throughout the episode. Jinx. So Jinx is kind of where I have an issue, because I thought when they were going to bring in Jinx, she was supposed to be the one who was a bit more knowledgeable on everything that was happening with the magic. She was supposed to be the liaison for that, basically. And every episode, you become more and more aware that her knowledge of magical know-how, spells, whatever, like, it's on the same level of the Titans. And it's weird because you have these interactions and you would think that she would know more than the Titans and she could help out, but that's not the case. So you're left feeling like she's a little useless because she's on the same level as the Titans as far as knowledge goes. She doesn't even really use magic outside of one part in this episode. So I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe she's flubbing. I don't know. It's very weird how they're handling Jinx. And her dialogue is mostly cringe, honestly. Who else am I missing from the main group? I don't think I'm missing anything. Guys, this episode was absolutely phenomenal. It was tense when it needed to be. I just had a blast. Like, I was smiling throughout most of the episode. It was so good. easily 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. Leaning towards a 9 out of 10. I'm very excited to watch this again for my in-depth review. I'm sorry I'm not on camera. I just was not feeling well at all. And I have more energy now because I'm feeling better. But I was like, I'm certainly not going on camera because I may feel better, but I don't look better. So yeah, but this was great. My in-depth review will be definitely this weekend because I have a lot of festivities and stuff, as well as I'm sure everyone else. But yeah, guys, this was leagues above episode 4. Leagues above episode 4. Let me tell you. When you guys go to binge this, whoever's binging, I really think this episode is going to stand out for you. I really do. And I hope that episode 6 builds on this momentum and we end on a strong ass note, because with a month break, we need to end on a very strong note. And if it keeps going like this, we will. So I'm very excited, but that's all I have to say, guys. I will catch you guys with, this weekend. Thank you for listening. See you later. Bye.